Have you seen that photo or the footage rather of the jaguar that they found in Arizona?
Yeah.
That's really interesting too, right?
Amazing.
That they're starting to make their way up from Mexico.
It's such a weird region because here's this huge Sonoran desert that you think none of these tropical animals can make it across, and for whatever reason, southern Arizona gets jaguars and coatimundi and peccary and all these like tropical animals.
Yeah.
What the hell? I don't know the answer. What the hell's going on that all these rainforest creatures are making it through this 1,000-mile stretch of desert and into southern Arizona?
Probably bored.
Could be.
Looking for cool places to visit.
Yeah.
Maybe maybe it's just like a natural instinct to roam and expand your territory. There he is.
Yeah.
Look at that.
That's amazing.
That's an incredible animal.
So beautiful.
It's huge.
Huge.
They're 200 plus pounds, right? It's a big fucking aggressive cat. What's bigger, a jaguar or a leopard?
Leopard, yeah.
Yeah, and that's even bigger. But it's such a beautiful animal too. And apparently they were all over North America
Jaguars?
at one point in time. Yeah, like that area, like Texas, and
during the
Arizona.
Pleistocene.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting. I didn't even know that. But
They were pushed out of. I feel like that might not be true though. I feel like they were more numerous in like Arizona and like the Southwest.
makes sense. I mean, you know, we had so much megafauna here back in the day. There would have been a lot of prey for them.
Now, because of the fact that you spend so much time in the wild, and and that you have this interest in these, what would you call cryptozoology animals? Like
well, I'm not a crypto guy, so just to be clear, and nothing against crypto guys, but I don't do Loch Ness or Bigfoot or anything.
Right.
I'm a true wildlife biologist, so I only focus on wildlife. So, not to interrupt you, but I'm just very, very structured in the sense that I really only look for animals that we have an understanding of.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Well, the Bigfoot one is the most compelling, but also probably the most bullshit.
I think there's there. I think people believe that they've seen certain things.
Yeah.
It's. Do I think that there could have been large primates that we attribute to Bigfoot? Sure. Whether they're still here or not, whether people have ever seen them, I'm so not well read on that.
Isn't it interesting though that if there was one, it would probably be the most spectacular find ever.
Absolutely.
But meanwhile, we have chimps and bonobos, and we have all these things that are real.
Well, because there's so much foreign culture associated with it, right? And not just our Western culture, but things of big hairy creatures and everything.
Right.
I mean, it would be this mind-blowing discovery.
Have you went and looked for the Bondo ape?
No, I know what it is, but no, never gone for it.
They're sure that's a real thing.
Really?
Yeah, they've got skulls and hair samples and photographs and video. And for people who don't know what we're talking about, it's a gigantic chimpanzee.
Right.
Like a 6 foot tall chimpanzee, which is just fucking nuts.
And it does walk erect, right?
Yeah. Sometimes, yeah. There's a camera trap photo. There's a guy named Dr. Carl. No, he's not a doctor. I think his name's Carl Harmon. Carl something? Harmon, is that?
Amon.
Amon? Carl Amon. And he's was it a Swiss wildlife photographer? Anyway, he set up a bunch of camera traps, and he got one of them walking.
Amazing.
And it's freaky. And there's some photos of these gentlemen that shot one near an airstrip.
Huh.
And it's fucking huge. You don't know how big the men are.
Right.
They might be small, and it's in front of them. But it is, without a doubt, one of the biggest chimpanzees you've ever seen in your life. And they have a crest on their head. Their skull has a crest like a gorilla.
Huh.
Yeah, it has the bone of the skull. It
kind of fuses up.
Yeah.
Interesting. Do you have a picture of that? I'd love to see it. I'm not familiar with the anatomy of them.
Yeah, it's really interesting because I think for the longest time they didn't think they were real. It's a part of that Michael Crichton book, Congo.
Okay.
Remember there was a really terrible movie that was made?
I know the book
Look at the size
as well.
of that fucker.
Yeah, that's insane.
Yeah, that's one of them.
And that doesn't look like forced perspective. You know what I mean?
No.
It looks like they're right in front of them.
And that's one from the early 1900s where these guys shot one, and they were like, "What is this? This is just chimp." See if you can find the one of the right above is the one where it's.
Oh, that's the
camera trap.
Wow,
the thing walking,
and he's erect.
Yeah, he's erect, and he's,
is he?
These people, one of the sightings, they saw one a truck walk across a road. It was the same height as the truck.
That's insane.
So they have like a Toyota Helix or something like that, and it's literally the height, like a 6 foot tall man, but a giant chimp.
And I mean, to go back to the Bigfoot thing, you can totally see where we get that from, right?
Oh, for sure,
You look at this huge primate that's the size of a human being, and your brain instantly goes, it's mythological.
And I'm pretty sure that they didn't have photos of this until the 20th century. like the late 20th century.
No kidding.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yeah, it's a trip, man. They nest on the ground like gorillas.
Like a gorilla. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
And the locals have two different names for chimps. They call them tree beaters and lion killers.
Huh.
And the tree beaters are the ones that are up in the trees, the smaller chimps.
Sure.
And the lion killers are these big ones
that live on the ground.
Yeah, and apparently there's some either video footage or there was some eyewitness account of one of them eating a leopard.
No way.
So it was a dead leopard that they were eating, whether or not they killed it or they found it, but they were eating this fucking thing.
Regardless, to be a primate at the top of the food chain eating a big cat, I mean, that's nuts. It's nuts.
Would you ever think of going there and trying to find those things?
Fuck yeah.
They're deep in there.
Great.
Yeah. They're in a place called Bili in the Congo. That's where they think they are. They've isolated a population of them there.
Really? My mom just got back from the Congo, and she still does like her own stuff, and she was saying it's just like, she's been all over as well. She's like, it's mind-blowing. Like, there's so much remoteness and unstudied area that there could be all kinds of things.
God damn. If you go to the Congo, you got to go walk through that that has that giant chimp living in it. Do you know that about that giant chimp? The Bondo ape?
The Bondo.
Yeah, it's a larger version of the chimpanzee. It's like 6 feet tall.
Whoa.
Huge, 200-plus pound chimps.
Jeez.
Yeah, the locals call them lion killers.
Yeah, really?
Yeah, they nest on the ground.
We got an image of one of those.
Yeah, they nest on the ground like gorillas.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, this one is not. This is images of dead ones. See if you can go to. There's if you just Google Bondo ape, there's some really good. See that one in the upper left hand corner, Jamie? Yeah, but that picture I don't think is real. I want to say that's fake. Congo's giant Bondo ape. See that one's real. That one's real. Those people with the dead one. Okay, make that larger, please. Can you just make the? There you go. That is that's the first evidence of one that they ever found.
Wow.
And then they shot this thing and they took pictures of it, but I believe that was in the 1930s. And then they got another one that they shot at an airport, and these guys are posing with this thing. See if you can find the one. That's it at the bottom, the very bottom. That right there. Bang. Look at that. Go full screen. The one below it. Yeah. Look at that. Make that larger. Look at the size of that fucking chimp. So that is this thing that they call the Bondo ape, and it has a crest on its skull like a gorilla.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not like the skull is not shaped like a chimpanzee skull. And so go back to the picture, please. That's okay. That's big enough. But because it's not a very clear picture anyway. So these guys shot this at an airport, and look at the hog on them too. Woo. But the size of that thing, I mean, look at the men behind it. I don't know how big they are, but let's assume they're tiny, and they're 5'5". That thing is 5'10", 5'11", and probably well north of 200 pounds.
The strength
and it's a chimp.
Well.
Oh my God, it'll rip you to pieces.
Yeah, easy.
But the cool thing is this is a weird subspecies that's only in this. I think it's called Bili in the Congo, and they either call it the Bili ape or they call it the Bondo ape. But it's an enormous.
Yeah, never hit. But I'm sure I've that picture there where the guys are either side holding it up. I'm sure I've seen that somewhere.
Google Bondo ape camera trap photo. There's a camera trap photo of one of them walking upright, and it's about 6 feet tall. Upper left hand corner. That one.
6 feet.
Yeah.
Tall.
They said by measuring the stuff around it, they think that is a 6 foot tall chimpanzee walking through the fucking jungle. Whoa. And that's this guy. There's a guy named Carl Amon. I think he's from Switzerland. He's a wildlife photographer, and he spent a considerable amount of time trying to find these things and take photos of them because of all the descriptions that the natives have of these enormous chimpanzees. They got video of one of them eating a jaguar. They don't know if it killed it or if it found it dead. But
such
the locals,
mysterious parts of the world, eh?
Yeah,
whereabouts in the Congo is that? Do you know?
In Bili. I think it's called Bili. It's not a large place, but it's incredibly dense jungle. It's very hard to get to. But for a long time, it was just legend. But now they have actual video of them. They have photograph. They have scat samples, DNA, and then they have the skulls. The skulls that are not quite gorilla and not quite chimpanzee.
Got you.
When they first got it, I'm pretty sure they thought it was a hybrid. They thought like a gorilla fucked a chimp. Like, come here, bro.
Yeah.
And then now they think it's a totally different subspecies of chimpanzee. So there it is.
There you go. Yeah.
Bili Yuli Forest. So that's where you got to go, bro.
Yeah, that's not far from the. Is that the source? That looks like the source there.
Yeah, is that
Source of the Congo?
Could you go through there? So that area looks small, but it's probably bigger
it's
than
massive,
Florida.
yeah.
The area where these things. I mean, the
It's
Congo's
like the heart,
so
isn't it?
big.
The Congo is just always fast. From a young age, you hear all sorts of stories of the Congo, don't you?
Isn't it wide in the contiguous United States? I think the Congo itself is wider than the United States. I think there's more land mass in the Congo. There's an amazing
That's immense, isn't it?
BBC documentary on the Congo from many years ago. I think it was like from the 90s. But they spent 29 times. The United States is 29 times bigger than the Congo. Okay, well, hold on. Stop. 342,000 square kilometers. But the width of it, I think it's the width.
There are only 5 million people living there for the size of it.
Oh, that's it. Okay,
there
no,
you
it's
go,
not. Okay, it's not as wide. It's not even as close.
Maybe Texas or something.
Yeah, it's like it's bigger than Texas for sure. It's like Texas and California and maybe like one other state smushed in there. It looks like it's like 30% of the United States.
Still a lot of wilderness, that though, isn't
Oh
it?
yeah, man. And if there's a fucking giant chimp living in there,
Yeah.
and all kinds of other shit in
Oh,
there.
all sorts.
Have you seen that shoebill bird that lives there?
No.
Oh my god, it's a 5 foot tall dinosaur of a bird with
Yeah.
an enormous face. His face is like this big, and it looks like it doesn't look real. Like you see
I
it
think
walking
I'd see,
around.
yeah, with the way that you're describing it, maybe photos, videos.
Oh, the face that they have. There's some great high resolution photos of the shoebill where you look at them in the eye and
Yeah.
you're like, what the fuck is that? Is that real?
Man.
They're like the most ferocious looking bird. It looked like that right there.
Yeah, I have
Come
seen
on,
that. That's
bro.
badass, isn't
The
it?
face. Imagine walking through
Looking up and seeing that, looking down at you.
or walking through the jungle and you part some leaves and that fucking
man.
thing is staring
Yeah,
at your
yeah.
face. Oh my god.
We came across, have you heard of elephant birds?
No.
I think David Attenborough David Attenborough first discovered it or went to Madagascar because he was fascinated by the elephant bird. Went extinct, I don't know how long ago, but their eggs were about what's half a foot.
Like a football.
Yeah, almost like a rugby ball, football.
Yeah.
In size.
Oh.
There we go.
Oh
And
my god, look at the size of
yeah.
that egg.
That'd be painful.
That's so big. Look at the size of that fucker.
There you
So
go. Look at that
it was
comparison with an ostrich.
oh my god.
On the there you go. Yeah.
Holy fuck.
And these were big, but I came across the elephant bird eggshells. They're about this thick as well, maybe quarter centimetre in thickness. And they're just scattered across the southern beaches of Madagascar in their thousands.
So this thing is still alive?
No,
or the
this
eggs
has gone
are?
extinct. It's just the
But
eggs.
the eggs are still there.
Yeah, there you go. There's David Attenborough. I think he bought one back. It's in Cardiff, which is the capital city of
There's that
Wales.
many of them? You can just go get one?
There's just crushed because they're so thick. Oh, look at that compared
They
to
just
a normal
last
egg.
forever.
They just last forever.
Wow. Holy shit, they're huge.
Forget how many years ago they went extinct. Sure, it was a couple of
And there's
thousand.
how many of these things have been collected?
I'm not too sure. I don't know how many. how
Why
many
did the
eggs.
elephant bird disappear? What does it say? Human people what?
Yeah, I believe it was the humans, wasn't it? Hunting
Scroll
them.
down. Humans may
extinction.
not be to blame.
Oh,
Goddamn pop-ups. Get us every time. Wow.
immense. That's huge, though, isn't it?
Yeah. But did you ever see the ones they had in North Carolina? The terror birds?
No.
Oh, fuck. They had 7 feet tall, murderous, carnivorous birds that couldn't fly running around North America.
Jeez.
Yeah. Pull up terror birds. He's searching overtime on this episode.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to scare you with all the shit that you've seen your whole life. These were enormous birds. There's
Wow,
one
there
that
we
shows
go.
look at the size of that thing. There's one that shows back to that National Geographic thing that you just had right there, Jamie, in the middle. Yeah. I think that was like a CGI documentary that they had done on one.
It says versus wolves. I don't even want to click
Oh.
on it.
Well, yeah.
Awful. I don't-
Well, I think they're so much bigger than the wolves. They probably hunted them down
There you
and
go. There's
killed
a
them.
size comparison there, isn't there? See next to a human.
Yes, it's far left,
Massive,
Jamie.
eh?
Yeah,
well
that's
built
crazy
as well.
too. Chasing horses and shit.
Can you imagine, like,
Yeah.
exploration back then? Oh,
Bro.
it'd be a whole different ball game, wouldn't it?
Oh, you had no idea.
So much more
it's-
exciting, but dangerous as well, you know?
You're talking about people that believe in witches and people that believe in witchcraft. Like back
Yeah.
then, you almost had to have some belief system to keep you going because you had no idea
Yeah.
what was around the next corner.
Mm.
So these terror birds were alive, I believe, when human beings were alive, right? When did these things When were these things alive? If I had to guess, I'm going to guess they died out a million years ago? 500,000 years ago?
62 to 1.8 million years ago.
Whoa.
62 million to 1.8
It says
million.
the temporal range covers from 62 to 1.8 million years ago. So I think that's 62 million, not 62 years ago. Right?
Okay, so no
62
people.
million, yeah.
So definitely no
that
people.
Dinosaur
Yeah.
age.
Cenozoic era.
Cenozoic. So we just some kind of monkey chimp type thing was all we had back then. I mean, I think like that was like Australopithecus or something like that. What year was that? Okay, I'm over googling you.
Still stuff living with us though, isn't that? That's terrifying. Have you heard of the camel spider?
Yes.
Where it injects you with like an anaesthetic.
Yeah.
And there are like stories of soldiers waking up half an ear missing because they've been injected in the middle of the night by this big ass camel spider, size of a dinner plate, isn't it?
What is this, Jamie?
Mammals of the Miocene, which are, I guess, the same era. So it looks like giant sloth time period, that
yeah.
North American bear time period.
Look how
maybe.
small the horses are. Holy shit. Compared to those giant sloth things.
It's like Avatar, isn't it?
Oh, that's a short-faced bear. That's what that is. That's that enormous bear. You've seen that thing, right?
The
Short-faced bear?
short-faced bear. Have
you
I
don't
seen
even
it?
know, bro.
No,
The short-faced
let's
bear
see.
was the most terrifying bear in all of history. Short-faced bear was way bigger than a polar bear and super carnivorous, and they think it might have been the thing that kept human beings from successfully navigating the trek through the Bering landmass until they
wow.
went extinct. They're huge. There's a picture of a guy standing next to a recreation of a short-faced bear, and it's fucking crazy. It's so
massive.
big. They think people probably hunted them off to
Yeah.
extinction, or they don't really know. Did you get an image of a short-faced bear? Yeah, it's a ridiculous animal that I didn't even know existed until a few years ago.
Oh, there's probably so much. That's why that's sapien. I don't know if it goes into the
Sapien,
details.
yeah.
Sapien. Does it
Yeah.
go into the details of this?
Go with the one in the far right corner, upper
oh
right.
yeah, look at that.
Yeah, that's what it looks like.
Oh man, you just would not venture outside,
Just
would you?
fucking imagine
Oh.
how big that is.
That's a brute, isn't it?
It's the cartoon comic book
Yeah.
version of a bear. Like, you can't believe we're looking at this thing where literally this thing is standing up. These gentlemen, let's just assume they're somewhere in the neighborhood of 6 feet tall. This thing is their entire height plus a couple of feet. So double their entire height, I should say, plus a couple of feet.
That's ridiculous.
Like
isn't it?
their head, this
Oh,
thing's standing
yeah.
up, and their heads are like right around where his hip bone is. Although he is on a little bit of a
And I'm
mound.
counting
there.
that. It's pretty close to 14, 15 feet, maybe, standing
Yeah.
on its hind
Yeah.
legs.
Yeah, but why do they have him on a mound? Listen, bitch, we know he's tall. But put him on. You're exaggerating. You're making it look more ridiculous. It's ridiculous as it is without him being on a mound.
Yeah.
Why do you have him? You're trying to make it even crazier. It's crazy enough, but super predatory.
Short-faced bear.
Yeah. Between that and saber-toothed tigers, there was an African lion that used to live here. Remember when he went on stage in New York after 9/11?
Who did?
Richard Gere did, and was trying to tell the audience that they should choose love, and that
Wait, what on stage? Where on stage?
he was on stage at some sort of a benefit
Oh,
right
for
after
9/11.
9/11.
Yeah.
It was right after 9/11, and he was saying essentially that, a great message. Just at the time, people were just bloodthirsty. They booed him. They're like, "Fuck you."
What did he say?
Fuck you. He's basically saying, let's not have military action. More people shouldn't die because of some things that these people did to us.
He's saying try to figure out a different way to do this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Buddhist, I believe. I mean, he's really close pals with the Dalai Lama.
Yeah, but interest of talking about what we're talking about, revenge means a lot. It's kind of hard to tell America to not get revenge on somebody.
Right.
We love revenge.
Well, yeah. Well,
We love getting back people that try to fuck with us. Even if we go way deeper than they did.
we're war monkeys.
Yeah, we love it.
We when we think we're being attacked, like retribution and revenge is what we were just talking about earlier about like chimps. Chimps do that too.
Yeah, natural. It's nature.
part of
It's nature.
You want to get revenge, motherfuckers. Like we were talking about that guy who got ripped apart by the chimp who went to bring a birthday cake.
Dude.
See, other chimps that did it because they were jealous. They were angry. They were jealous
that
of
they
one
weren't getting
chimp
this
got a birthday
compassion.
cake. And
Yeah.
They didn't get shit, and someone fucked up and left the gate open. And they came out and fucked that dude up.
They ripped his limbs off.
He tore his face apart just because he didn't bring cake for them.
Were they female chimps?
No, they were male.
Where's my cake? Losing it.
Cake must be so good.
Must have been good ass fucking cake, dude.
To a chimp that doesn't understand what cake is, like, how the fuck did you do this?
But they do understand what cake is.
Right, well, they understand it once you get it to them.
It's a gem. Yeah, it's something. That's like a powerful orb you brought.
Did I tell you when we were in Costa Rica? There's monkeys everywhere there. It's crazy, cool ass monkeys, but they're a little sketchy.
I know. I got married down there.
And oh, you did?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're out of their fucking mind.
We were hanging out with them, and there's a thing called a Coatimundi. You know what that is?
Oh.
They look like a raccoon monkey thing. It's a weird creature.
A runky.
And we were staying at this resort, and they would just come right down the pathway to where your door to your room was, and they'd just hang out with you. Like these Coatimundis just hang out. And you could feed them grapes and shit. They would take them right out of your hands.
Yeah.
But like no danger at all. They were like super chill and friendly. So we gave this Coatimundi some grapes, and then he laid down and took a nap under my chair. Like, just took a fucking nap.
It's like a dog.
It was like a dog.
Yeah.
Like the most chill dog of all time. Right. I'm like, God damn, these things are cool. Like, we were just sitting there. I go ahead, buddy, take a nap. You're safe here. I gave him some grapes and
That's
shit.
why people want chimps at their house. People love the idea of having them.
So the monkeys came over, and we only had, that's what a Coatimundi's like. Dude, they're the shit. There's cool little animals.
It does kind of look raccoonish.
My daughters gave him a name. Like, they were calling him a kinkajou. They just decided to call it a kinkajou.
That's more fun.
Yeah. They
Kinkajou
made their own word up, I think. I don't think that's a real word.
Coatimundi.
But that little guy was so cool. Such an interesting little fella. When you just would gently take grapes right out of your hand. Gently. Like the most chill dog of all time. So anyway, we were out of grapes, and these monkeys showed up, and they're like hanging out, like looking like, what do you got for us? Look at it.
These
they're
guys.
looking hungry. No, real monkeys.
Oh,
that's
monkey
not a
monkeys.
monkey.
No,
That's
no.
like I don't know what that is. I don't know what a Coatimundi is. What family is that?
What is
thing
that?
in? Anyway, we gave these. We were like, I don't know if we should give these monkeys these Oreos. It's kind of fucked up. Like, it's not good for them. And then I looked, and one of them only had one hand. I'm like, well, that's not good for them either. And they're getting the fucking hand bit off. So I gave him. He snatched it from me, and he opened it up, and then started chewing the white stuff.
Just
off.
like the cream?
Yes.
He's one of us.
But he already knew about it.
He knew, dude.
I'm like, he's probably been getting Oreos for his whole life.
Long time.
From people that stay at the resort.
He knows the trick, dude.
You know,
He
you
eats
go
the
to that
outside of
mini
Pop-Tarts.
bar.
Yeah.
I mean, he knew what the fuck to do.
Oh, dude. Well, they make you at this, open air houses you rent on the beach. Like everything's pretty open except for the bedroom is the only thing that's closed off. And they had latch locks, padlocks on the refrigerator. And I was like, why do you guys lock that up? And they're like, the monkeys know how to get into all that shit. They know how to open the door, and they know how to get in the drawers. He's like, dude, they know how to open up egg cartons. They know how to open the lid and take eggs and close the lid. I'm not kidding. He's like, they're that smart. So in the middle of the night, the first night that we were there, I hear the gate kind of rustling, and then I hear movement, and I'm like, someone's in the fucking house, because it's on the beach, it's wide open. So of course I like grab something. It's the biggest thing I could find next to me, and I'm out there. I'm like, hey, like a nut bag in my fucking. I'm yelling. Of course I look. They're just monkeys chilling, trying to like get shit in the house. They're trying to find shit laying around, food, drinks, whatever it was. And of course I go back to bed, and every night I would hear them come and go. But you'd hear them try the refrigerator. You would hear them pulling on it to see if the latch was like if we left it unlocked. They're smart. They learn all the little tricks of where you put stuff. Cabinets, I could hear cabinets opening and closing.
Wow.
Yeah, they were smart, man.
That's so weird. It's like a little person.
It is
almost
a little sneaky. Yeah, it is a little person.
Fuck.
And they put purposely up in this place that I was at. They purposely string wire from house to house to house, so the monkeys kind of had freedom to go up above, because if they would go down by the road, it would cause more traffic and disturbances and all that stuff. So they keep them up in the canopy. So they put rope purposely house to house and tree to tree that humans put up, so they have easier pathways to get down to the water. Because they say when they're down on the ground, it's more distracting. It's a lot harder to drive. They create little messes down below. So if they keep them up high, it's better for them. It was crazy, man.
What a wild creature. They can swing from tree to tree. They fly up into the treetops like that. They're hanging from shit.
Just
they're
one.
Almost like people.
Sometimes I'd see one just hanging and it'd be staring right at you.
But they're almost like people.
They're right fucking there.
Well, the weirdest thing is that if evolution is happening all the time, look at this little monkey.
Look, is this him breaking into a house?
Yeah, watch this. Watch how smart. Look, give me those chips. I love these fucking chips. I love that.
It looks like he's looking right at the person too.
Yeah, he is.
Oh wow! And he just takes off with it.
Dude, they know which ones they
feed them.
They know which ones they like.
Guys, just be nice to them. What happens if you feed them?
You can't. No, they tell you not to feed them.
What happens?
Because then they know to keep coming back and where they can get food.
What if you like monkeys?
No, they say when you stop feeding them after you fed them enough, then they start to get aggressive.
So then you shoot one.
Just kill them. Send a message, right? And then they all can kill you.
You pull out a fucking 12 gauge and you blow the little face off one of those cunts.
And you make your drug.
And you go, you guys want free food? You'll get it, but you get it on my terms.
Yeah, my terms, monkey.
And then you go back inside.
You just described the plot for Planet of the Apes. It's literally like the plot.
You
for
get
Planet
them
of the Apes.
hooked. You get them.
Yeah, you bait them.
Get them hooked on food.
Yeah, you bait
with you anymore. Someone that you deeply loved and cared about. Like, you want them to suffer. It's weird. It's weird. I mean, it's normal. So I guess it's not that weird. But the evil, vicious jealousy. You know, like, you see that vicious jealousy in chimpanzees. Like, one of the things that chimpanzees do when they attack people, one of the things they attack people over is unfairness. Like, there was a terrible story about a guy who had kept a pet chimp and then brought the chimp a birthday cake on his birthday.
Brian Posehn has a whole bit about it.
Do you? Does it?
Yeah.
And the other chimps found out that this chimp was getting a birthday cake, and they saw it, and they weren't getting any cake, and they were fucking furious. So someone had inadvertently left one of the gates open, so the chimps got out and tore this guy apart because of a birthday cake. But it's that thing. It's not like it was affecting them. It's like he was doing something bad to them, so they got out and killed him. Oof. No, they ripped his dick off because they didn't like the fact they gave the other chimp a birthday cake.
Took his dick, took his fingers.
Took his feet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Posehn's bit's so funny. He's like, the worst thing about that story for that guy is that everyone's going to want to hear it forever. Because it starts with, so I was bringing a birthday cake to a chimpanzee. And then, you got to hear the rest.
But that anger and jealousy, there's an evolutionary basis for it. Oh, is that what he looks like now?
Yeah.
Oh my God!
I'm not gonna show it. It's tough.
His fingers are missing. His face is missing. He's got one eye. His nose is gone.
Oh, look at that frown. It's
oh
that
my
perma
God!
Frown.
Well, his face was ripped apart. They probably stitched it together that way. Awful. Yeah, it's fucking awful, man. Yeah, you can't own a chimp, you crazy assholes. They're the most vicious of all the primates next to people.
Aren't they you can train them for the first 5 years of their life, and then they forget everything.
They just decide they're going to fuck you up.
Yeah.
And they're so strong. What is that one doing? Is that the chimp?
No, but popped up in the same group of pictures.
Jesus.
Hairless chimp looks
they're so mean. It's such a mean species. You know, there's a problem with colobus monkeys in parts of Africa where chimps live, because they've eaten so many colobus monkeys that their population's down 97%. Yeah, they rip them apart and eat them a lot while they're alive.
Are they tiny colobus monkeys?
No, they're not big.
No,
big enough to eat. But this is a David Attenborough documentary from the 90s where they first discovered that chimps eat monkeys. They really didn't know. They thought that chimps were basically herbivores, and then they got this video footage of them hunting these monkeys and the way they would corral them and beat them through the trees and then catch them, and this monkey screaming while this chimp is ripping it apart from the hips, like just chewing it and pulling it apart from the, and he's like, ah! And he's basically ripping his legs and his ass end off and just eating it alive.
God damn.
They're fucking mean, man. They're fucking mean. It's a mean animal. But I get the fact that, look, everything's mean in the jungle. There's big cats and poisonous snakes and spiders, and it's just a hard world. But the thing that gets me is the jealousy, because I don't think other animals experience jealousy the way chimps do. Like this, is that it right there? Oh, from the Attenborough
the
documentary.
end of the clip where they actually caught it.
Yeah. So that's a monkey in his hand. Oof. Yeah, dude, the videos of it killing it while they're pulling it apart. Ugh. But that jealousy that I want you to suffer. I didn't get that fucking cake. Oh, you don't let me have that cake? I can't get any cake? I'm going to pull your fucking dick off. I'm going to bite your nose off. Like that is a strange trait for an animal to have.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
I mean, it's a terrible trait for a human being to have.
Oh, yeah.
You know?
Well, we are animals. Yeah.
Yeah. It's something you got to work on.
But when it comes to divorce, that's that same thing. It's like that same, I want you to fucking suffer. I want to pull your dick off. And that's why, people hire hitmen and shit to kill their ex-wives and kill their ex-husbands.
Well, yeah, people don't get less crazy as they age.
No. A lot of times more, because then they realize it's almost over. The ride's over, and now, you're a 65-year-old lady, no one wants to fuck you. And you're a 65-year-old man, no one wants to fuck you either. And now all of a sudden, you guys are battling,
Yeah.
battling over finances and this and that. Good to see you, man.
Good to see you.
I purposely didn't ask you or talk to you about the grizzly bear attack because I wanted to save it.
You want?
What is it like to have survived, literally being 2 feet away from an attacking grizzly
pretty
bear?
close.
Like you could have grabbed it
Yeah. Oh yeah.
easily.
Easily. Oh, that was just nuts. It was one of those things. Okay, I've thought about it a million times.
I'm sure. How long ago was this?
That would have been early October or mid-October.
So 3 months.
3 months to kind of think
Somewhere
about
around.
it. Yep. And yeah, man, it's just one of the things that I've thought about it so many times in my head. And I've always been, I think Steve was the same way, like, oh, it'd be pretty cool to survive a bear attack, get scratched up a little bit. After that experience, I thought to myself, if that never happens again, I'll be okay.
Yeah, I used to always say, Steve Rinella, we're talking about from the Meat Eater podcast, and he has a 2-part series on this particular bear attack. But he used to always say he wanted to get clawed across the chest and have, like, not a tattoo, but like a big claw.
Yeah,
I'm like,
a little
what?
bit of mark.
Like, what are the odds that happens?
Yeah, I think that in order to get that, you have to go through a really, really horrible experience.
Yeah.
And there's guys that have had those attacks, or there's guys that have had those attacks a lot. But
Yeah.
I mean, I've been around a lot of wild animals and seen things and been charged by bears, and this was just different. It was that kind of attack where while it's happening, you're going, this is not going to pan out well. Somebody's going to die, something. You're just looking at this bear and it's hot. And just everything, it's a weird experience. Your memory's a little foggy of it. Everything happened so fast, but it felt like it was so long.
So the adrenaline just must overwhelm your
think
brain.
So. Yeah, you don't even think about. I just remember it was a weird situation. So maybe I'll just kind of recap the story. So we're on a Fognak Island, and we're hunting.
And a Fognak is
off
Alaska.
of Kodiak. Yeah. So a Fognak Island has some of the largest bears in the world. They're brown bears. They are big brown bears. They can be over 1,000 pounds. So we're hunting elk there. My brother and myself have hunted elk on the island before, and it's just a miserable place to be.
What's a fascinating hunt, the way you guys are describing it, because just the fact that you would choose out of all the places you can go, you pretty much can go anywhere you want.
Yeah.
You chose to go on this brutal adventure hunt because it's so difficult and because because like Rinella was talking about this once, and the way he described it is like there's things that are fun while you're doing them, but they're not fun later, like roller coasters.
Yeah.
And then there's things that are terrible and awful, but you'll think about them forever and look back at them fondly.
Yeah, that's exactly what this is. It's that, after the fact, you think back and you go, in the moment, you go, I will never do this again. And then about a year later, you go, I should do that again. It's weird.
And what about the place that's so miserable?
Well, it's hard to walk through. It looks easy, and there's just this big mountain where you can get to with a plane. You've kind of got to climb this big mountain, and the vegetation is so thick and it's so steep that it takes forever to go somewhere. So to put it in perspective, to go, say, a mile might take 5 hours.
Whoa.
That's how much like a map.
Yeah.
So the way the crow would fly, if you're just going a mile, and then another distance could take you half that time or a quarter of that time, but there's a big mountain in between where you need to go, plus the vegetation, and it's really steep. So you've all that kind of working against you. Plus, you can't really walk in just a straight line there. You've got to navigate around all this stuff.
And there's you from. Play some of this, Jamie.
That was.
It's been destroyed, and this is just a rough day. Real rough.
So that was after the bear.
Yeah, right afterward.
Yeah, I'll have to figure out because I right after the bear attacked, I pulled out my phone and was just kind of like recording everyone's reactions, and then I put it on my Instagram story. But I'll try to find it tonight and I'll post it onto some. I'll figure out a way to
Insta stories.
together.
They let you save them now.
Now
You
they
can
do.
save
Yeah,
some
this
of
was
them.
like weeks before that, unfortunately.
So, this place is miserable. It's rainy all the time.
Rainy,
It's
high wind.
thick, dense vegetation, and literal monsters.
Yeah, giant bears, and then big. The elk are probably what do they weigh? They can weigh up to 1,400 pounds. These elk, so it's
Which is way bigger.
Yeah, it's like the size of 2 normal elk weight wise. An average elk would probably be around 500 pounds. In most cases,
A really
yeah.
big one. We were talking about the California ones at Tahoe, sometimes can get to 1,000.
Yeah.
This is another 400 pounds bigger
Exactly.
than that.
That's a big animal.
giant animal.
And there's bears that eat those giant animals. So those bears are giant. The bears can be over 12 pounds themselves. 11 feet more. Yeah.
11 feet?
11 feet. It's nuts. 11-foot bear.
No. This one that attacked you guys, how big do you think it was, if you had to guess?
I would say it's 11 and a half feet because because actually after we went in there, my friend who's a pilot there and dropped us off, he called me about a week or two later. He's like, they shot that bear that went after you guys. Somebody went in there, same place, bear attacked him. They killed it in self-defense. It was 11 and a half feet and almost 1,200 pounds. Very good odds that was the same bear. I would imagine that it was. There's very. I mean,
Because it was the same area.
Same
Probably
area.
had taken over that area.
Seemed about the same size. When it came in, I thought that's a boar. It wasn't one of those ones you think, oh, that's a. It looked like a big mature animal. In the piecing together what happened in my mind later, but yeah, so we're hunting elk on this island. Steve ends up getting an elk. We hang it in a tree. We do all the stuff you're supposed to do, get the meat away from the carcass. But we had yet to see a bear up until this point. And when my brother and I went in there a few years earlier, we just saw bears every day. We'd see 6 bears a day. So your mind's just bear, bear, bear. When you're seeing them all the time, when you aren't seeing them all the time, you go lax. And that's where we really screwed up. Because the attack went down, no one was prepared. We were just sitting around having some sandwiches. So we're filming, and there's 6 of us all together. And I think that large group, that 6, is what saved us. Because when the bear ran in, it was 6 of us sitting kind of like a semicircle, a strange circle. And when that came in, we did that scatter effect. I think that scatter was kind of like if a lion's going after a zebra, they use their numbers and stripes to confuse the lion. It was that scattering of things just going everywhere that caused fusion for the bear. So I think went in thinking, whatever's under that tree, I'm going to kill it. And it thought it was one thing. And then when we blew up into 6 different pieces, it just tried to kill everything at once and couldn't actually get one person.
Lucky.
Yeah, it was crazy because we're sitting down. We decided, we'll have lunch before we hike back, because the day before we hiked some ways. We got back to camp at 3 in the morning or something. I can't remember, 2 or 3 in the morning. We'd barely eaten. So everyone was just thinking, let's have lunch, group, hike out. So Pat and the other guys that was with us brought the jet boil to boil some coffee. So I was going around collecting water from everyone to get coffee, going around. And when I sat down, I took my pack off. And the whole week I'd been doing this thing where I take my pistol from the pack belt, put it on the holster on my body when I drop my pack. It was that weird deal where I took the pack off and I'm thinking about, I'm like, no, that's fine. And I thought I'll just sit, because the few times I'd set my pack down, I was like, I'll just sit, I'll lay on my pack, like as a chair, a backrest, and then I'll flop have the pistol right there. So it's within arm's reach and I'll be sitting there. Well, I go around and get the water, and then someone had moved kind of where I was sitting. So I sit down across from the pack where my pistol is, and I was thinking about, hand me that pistol, but I just was like, you don't want to be that guy, like, oh yeah, the guy.
Right.
Not everybody had pistol. Just me and Giannis had a pistol. And then Pat's behind us. He goes, I hear something, and I look up, and that was like dead set. So Steve would be where you are, the bear behind Steve. So like Steve was between me and the bear, his back.
Far away.
not just something.
So the first eat at 30 yards, and is it
30
running?
yards. Yeah, it's super fast. Thing. I mean, I see it coming in the whole way, just beady eyes locked in on me, and I think this thing's going to kill me. I'm thinking, when I say I'm thinking, I don't know if thinking. I just remember what was kind of going through my head at the time. I thought, oh fuck, I'm going to die, and my protection's right there. Like, I'm going to die. This is that situation where I'm dead, and they talk about it, and he could himself, but his gun's on the ground. And I think that was like, go for the gun was the whole thing. So I start to go for the gun. Giannis would have been here as I remember it. And so I start to go for the gun and realize, fuck, I don't have time to get to my gun. And it's 3 feet away.
Jesus
that bear is
Christ.
like right there coming
so
down. I kind of do like a football juke move, left, right, and then wheel around right, do like a spin with my back, and then start running to the left. And at that point, Giannis, I didn't know this at the time, because I looked at some pictures afterwards, kind of piece everything together. So Giannis was sitting right next to me. I think he got up to turn. There was some trekking pole here. He grabbed a trekking pole. So probably while I was juking, he reached around, grabbed the trekking pole, swings around, hits the bear in the face. Running off, then I see someone going down the mountain with the bear. I'm thinking he's got someone. So I grab my pistol, start going down the mountain, yelling, oh, count. I guess I yelled count off, and everyone's like, 1, 1, 1. I'm like, oh shit, who's missing?
Right.
And then Garrett pops up out of the bushes. His eye, he's like wide-eyed.
So Garrett, a dirt myth,
yeah,
was the one who was on top of the bear.
Somehow he's on the bear's back. So I think when the bear wheeled around, he like hit him up on the back. So I saw just legs and bear going down the mountain. Saw his legs on the back.
Maybe the bear had him in his jaw.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Wow.
I mean, who would think
he'd be riding a bear? Like if that movie, you'd be like, get the fuck out of here. You're not riding a bear.
There's that Anchorman where the guy's like riding the bear in the zoo. That's what it was. It's exactly like that.
Oh my God.
Yeah. And then we kind of circled up around the tree, and the really scary part was that bear. So it was so thick you really couldn't see. I mean, you could see maybe as far as the wall is from us. What was that?
With the trees.
8 feet, yeah. And just real thick brush. And you'd hear the bear charge in again. And we only had the 2 pistols, Giannis and I. And the wind was so strong, there's no way to use bear spray. So we hear the bear charging in, and me and Giannis are like pistols out, ready, waiting for this thing to pop out at point blank range. And then and you were yelling, bear, bear, hey, hey, hey. And then that thing stops, and then it would just, it would crash off, and then it would charge in from the other direction. So you got to like circle around the tree the other way, and did that I think 3 times. That was just it's like a horror movie where it keeps coming in from different angles. It was weird. It was not a fun feeling. It felt so small.
So guys had come back to the carcass that was hanging in the tree, and it had probably claimed that carcass. The carcass was there.
I assume. Now the weird thing is it came in with the wind. So the wind was blowing pretty stiff, and say into our face, and the bear came in with the wind. So he wasn't going into the scent.
Right.
Normally they go around, they catch the scent, and they chin. So I don't know if he had heard something, if he was there. We saw what slightly looked like bear sign. Both Steve and I kind of pointed it out, but we weren't thinking maybe it was something older.
When you bear sign, you mean bear shit.
Yeah, bear shit into the tree. Yeah, and so I think did some things that were wrong, but in the instance, what saved us all. Now, if we were to do it 100 times over, I would say I would do it differently, but it worked out how it worked out. So I obviously wouldn't. I would never opt to just have nothing and have this weird scatter effect.
Yeah.
But I think that what saved anyone from getting hurt, which is a miracle, is the fact that when we scattered, it just confused that bear, because he kind of had this look after he started wheeling around, kind of like trying to pick a person, trying to go, and he couldn't target one individual. And then things started hitting him, and somebody's on his back, and I think it just freaked him out, and he went off to regroup, keep charging back in, but never made that full charge all the way back in again.
Wow. Crazy. How many people have ever gone through a bear attack unscathed like that in a group of 6?
Yeah, and the thing about it wasn't just a bear attack, but looking at it, had someone even been grabbed and mauled, not to death, but injured, I think that it would have been unlikely that person would have survived, because we weather that came in was so bad. I don't know if it was 100-mile-an-hour winds. I mean, you aren't getting rescued in 100-mile-an-hour winds, I wouldn't think.
Right.
I don't know. Those Coast Guard helicopters, I'm not really sure what they're capable of. Maybe someone would say, yeah, we'd go, but that would be a very hard thing.
Lions have one shot at getting injured. They get injured once in their life, and then it's over.
So how do you think they last after an injury like that?
Dead within a couple of weeks. They usually starve to death.
You think
You're not
lion-
starved to death if you can't eat.
You think Ian keeps thinking, you think they have like memories and they're like, that fucking gazelle. No.
Nope. I think they know grudges.
Right.
I think grudges are connected to cognitive function, like our ego, our understanding of ourself. That's like, I'm going to get him back, because it's like your ego. I don't think animals have an ego. They have a sense of fair, though. Animals have a sense of, some animals do at least. Chimps do. One of the reasons why chimps attack people is because if people give something to someone else and they don't give it to them, they have a real sense of fairness. Wow. Yeah, there's a famous story of this guy who had a pet chimp. And then the thing about chimps is you can keep them when they're young, and then they get older, and it's like a man, but a man that's 5 times stronger than you. And like, why is he going to listen to you? He's not going to listen to you. So I think he started biting off fingers. It's one of the things that chimps do. When chimps get mad at you, they bite off your finger. Yeah, just to let you know they're the boss. Like, they don't give a fuck if you're injured. They have no remorse, right? And they're intelligent. So you have this thing that's not a dog. It's not a person. It's this weird in-between thing. It's an animal, but it's also intelligent. And so when you do something for someone else, but you don't do something for them, they get rage, like horrific rage. So this guy gets rid of this chimp, brings it to a shelter. The shelter takes it in, and he goes to visit it every year. And the chimp goes to see him like, oh, my friend, I miss you. Why can't I come home? But he can't come home ever, because he would just take over the house, right? Because he's a grown chimp. They don't castrate chimps the way they castrate dogs. Like, when you castrate a dog, like everybody, it's standard. People think it's good. Oh, did you get your dog neutered? Yeah, I did. And you want your dog to have no testosterone. You want your dog to have no balls. But then it becomes a different thing.
Right.
Then it's like tired and like have you ever seen a dog get snipped? I had one of my dogs get snipped when it was 5 years old. He was just too aggressive. Right. And so someone talked me into it. And then when I got him snipped, all of a sudden he was just tired all the time. He was lazy. And I realized, like, oh, he didn't have any testosterone anymore. It's all gone. I'm like, wow. Like, so the dog's a different dog now. So you can't do that to chimps. For whatever reason, you can't do that to chimps.
You can't neuter a chimp.
So this guy goes to visit the chimp, and he brings a birthday cake. Happy birthday, buddy. And the other chimps that are in cages right next to it are like, this motherfucker didn't bring me a cake? I can't believe this shit. So they figure out a way to get out. And they got out, and they attacked the man, and they tore him apart. They tore his face off. They tore his dick off. They tore his feet off. They bit his fingers off. It's one of the most horrific, cruel attacks you'll ever hear of, because they did it to try to take away from him the things he wants and needs. Like, chimps recognize you need your fingers in order to do things. You need your face in order to see. You need your dick in order to fuck. So that's the things they go after.
Fucking assholes.
They don't just try to kill you. They try to take away what it means to be a human. So if you try to hide your hands, they'll pull your hands away from and open them up and bite them off like crazy with a rage-filled look in their eye. And they don't communicate with language, so they only have this sense in their head of what's fair and what's not fair and what you've done to them. So if you do something that makes them jealous, they think immediately you've done something bad to them. They don't think that, no, I just gave my friend a cake. You made them feel bad, so it's you. You made them feel bad, so they go right after you. It's like a sort of it's an interesting study in the way sometimes people look at things. Like, we've all been jealous, right? You've been jealous of someone. You see someone who's doing something well, and you go, oh, I wish I was that guy. But you don't go attack that person, right? People recognize, like, it's not his fault that I feel bad that he has this Corvette. I have to just... I just got to appreciate the guy's hustle. Guy's out there kicking ass. All right, I got to get my shit together. But there's a thing that we have initially, especially when they're children. We feel angry, like you feel upset, like you feel like you've been shorted. Like someone's, why didn't I get that? This is bullshit. He gets it and I don't. It's a fascinating part of humans. And then humans, as we get older and more sophisticated with language, but still carry the same childish emotions, we find reasons to be upset at someone for being successful. We find reasons. Eat the rich. We find these weird little ways that we can justify our jealousy or our anger or our disdain for those who are more successful than we. So it's like we're coming up with complicated, sophisticated ways to justify these primal behaviors that chimps exhibit in just violent rage. So this guy, it's a famous case. Like this, you can see the pictures if you want to see the pictures.
Of the cake guy?
Guy who got his face ripped apart and fingers bitten off.
Right.
And yeah, I mean, he was in
I'd love
hospital.
to. That sounds great. Do you think that
Folks
this
at
guy...
home, prepare. Don't show it on the screen because it's rough. But Tony needs to see this before you go give a tramp a cake.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
This is
wow.
no nose. See how he bit his mouth?
God.
Yeah. Look at his face.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
He
They bit
was
his.
conscious, they said, after this happened.
Oh yeah, of course. Look at his right hand with the fingers bitten off. That's what they do. They bite off your fingers. That's the chimp right there. Click on the chimp in the right hand corner. That's his chimp.
Come on.
What's
that picture?
what is that picture?
I'm surprised he let him keep his ears.
Oh, that's the guy's face, Jamie. That's what that is. Whoa. He's got a trach because he can't breathe out of his mouth. Yeah. Whoa. Well, I mean, I don't think that, the chimps exactly know the human anatomy all that well, but they know what's important to you. Your face, your fingers.
Fucking hell.
Tore this guy apart.
If he would have brought pieces of cake and given them to all the chimps in all the cages,
I'll be happy.
Right.
Yeah. But they're angry that they're captive. So when they get captive, look, being captive for a chimp is probably a similar feeling as to what it would be to be captive as a person, right? If you see a chimp at the zoo and they're in this big containment and they have all these monkey bars and stuff they could hang on, but there's a bunch of people staring at them. Like all day long, people are staring at you through glass, and there's a ceiling, right? There's a net over the top so you can't go over the top, and there's fences, and you're just like, fuck, every day is boring. Nothing happens. Nothing happens every day. There's no lions. There's no fruit to go pick. There's no places to go journey to explore. Like chimps travel around, man. They don't just sit in one particular 100-yard area for the rest of their life. And it's not even 100 yards, right? If you go to the LA Zoo, you ever see how small that enclosure is?
Yeah.
I went to the LA Zoo once, really high, like on an edible.
Yeah.
And I wrote a piece on my website called the Animal Prison. And I was like, because it made me feel like because when you're really fucking super baked, you're sensitive to everything.
Yeah.
But just I recognize how instead of thinking about myself and thinking about I'm going to go to the zoo and see the monkeys, I went there and I immediately felt sadness. I was like, oh no, these poor creatures. Yeah. Like they don't want to be here. Like what are we doing? Like we can't do this. I was thinking like I got to get out of here.
It's true. No, you're right, and it's bizarre. Same thing with SeaWorld. Same thing with all those places.
Oh, SeaWorld's worse.
Yeah.
Because they're as smart as not smarter.
Yeah.
We don't even really know how smart orcas are, right? Because or dolphins, because we put them in these weird categories. Like, how much emails do they send? Do they make houses? No, they must be stupid. But they have a cerebral cortex that's 40% larger than ours. We don't know how smart they are. They also communicate. They have a weird, sophisticated language that we can't decipher. We can't decipher it. We don't know what their language is. They've been able to recognize specific accents, so they know there's there's a Southern accent and a Cleveland accent. There's a Chicago accent. Orcas have accents. Like we can tell by the sound. Oh, this is an orca from Alaska, or this is an orca from Seattle.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
It's fucking man.
Meanwhile, we put them in a swimming pool. Fucking swimming pool.
It's so sad how their fin droop once they get depressed.
It's not that they get depressed. They don't use it. It atrophies. It's like an arm that you don't pick anything up with. It just gets limp. Should fill people in on exactly what we're talking about. So we're talking about a skeleton that was discovered that is 1.2 million years older than Lucy. So
skeleton is it's 4.4 million years old.
The oldest known human relative.
Well, it's the oldest known skeleton. And actually, this is an important distinction I should make. So, like I said before, skeletons are rare. This is the oldest skeleton. There are 3 other members of the human family that are older. But the thing is, they're much more fragmentary. They're not anywhere near as complete. Like there's another one from Ethiopia found by the same team that found the skeleton we're talking about. That's, some teeth, like a toe bone, a few other broken elements of the skeleton. There's another thing, another species called Auroran from Kenya, which is about 6 million years old. Again, much more fragmentary, some teeth. I think they got a couple thigh bones, partial thigh bones. And then there's a skull from Chad called Sahelanthropus that's about 6 million, maybe 7 years old, depending on whose dating you believe. And that's a very nice skull, but it's a head without body. So,
right.
So anyway, so there are people sometimes get confused by this. So Artie is indeed the oldest skeleton. It's by far more complete than this other stuff, but there are some, fragmentary things that are older, and they all become part of this story too.
And what is the scientific controversy? Do you think is it based on real skepticism, or is ego involved in this? Like, you're laughing. It's unfortunate, man.
No. These are scientists. No. Yeah. There's
a lot of ego is involved in.
There's a lot of egos. There's a lot of disbelief because the skeleton was so surprising in a lot of ways and so contrary to the predictions that many people in science had made, that there was a kind of like a head explode for a lot of people.
So we should break down those particular things that are different than what was expected, right? First of all, it walked upright.
So it walked upright. So it's primitive. I mean, if you saw it, if we could go back in a time machine and look at it, this thing, the species name is Ardipithecus ramidus. That's kind of a mouthful, but Artie is the individual skeleton that they found. That's the individual, like you're Joe. You're the individual, and your species is Homo sapiens. That's how you think about this. Ardipithecus ramidus species, Artie, the individual skeleton. So, so the interesting revelations with it is it has upright posture. So it's standing upright, but it's still got the opposable toe. So this is a creature that was in the trees, clearly climbing, but and also appears to be upright, walking with this opposable toe. So everyone knows that sometime deep in the human past there was some kind of arboreal ancestor, some kind of ape. But the question has always been, well, what kind of ape? Does it look like a modern ape, or does it look like, something we've never seen before? And so the surprising thing about Artie is it's actually quite different than the living apes. So it's got this opposable toe, walks upright.
Are there proportions? When chimps have shorter legs than they have arms, is Artie's proportions similar to that?
No, Artie. I mean, it's certainly more ape-like than any of us. But there's a couple interesting things about its proportions. So all the other living apes have longer arms than they do. They spend a lot of time climbing. That's long arms, and they have they're different proportions, but they all have that in common. They got longer forelimbs than hind limbs. Artie was a big surprise because it actually had longer legs than forelimbs. I mean, it definitely has bigger hands, has longer arms than we do, but that was a surprise, at least was to me, and I think to at least some of the researchers. And I was talking before about these kind of surprises that appear after the fact. Well, that was one, because the bones are broken. These guys on this research team, it's called the Middle Outwash Research Project. They spent a lot of time, reconstructing this and then estimating, what are the lengths of the pieces that are not there, and then run all kinds of regressions and a lot of calculations and stuff. But so that revelation was sort of a delayed bombshell, if you will, that it actually had these limb proportions that were more like a biped.
And so our legs are longer. Chimps have longer arms. So is this does it have almost equal length arms and legs? Jamie actually just put of it up here, and I'm getting a chance to take a look at it. Oh, it's fascinating. So it has long legs, almost like a person, but longer arms than we do.
Yeah, longer arms than we do for sure. I think, I don't remember the exact name, but I think the calculation they did was that legs are, I think the arms, Yeah, I want to say it's like 90 something percent. So it's pretty close to 1-to-1 of length, but indeed the arms are a bit shorter.
Surprising part was that it didn't walk at all on its knuckles, that it was that old.
Yeah. So humans we come from the African apes. That's pretty clear from genetics. That's been clear for a long time. There are two main groups of African apes. There's gorillas and there's chimps. Now, within those, and chimps also includes this other species you might have heard of called bonobos. And within those, there's like debate about, should we divide them into some subspecies and stuff? But, we don't worry about that for now. But anyway, What they all have in common is they knuckle walk. So they got these long fingers, and when they walk, they do this. If you look at a video sometime, you'll see it. And, because our two closest cousins both do that, there was a perfectly plausible theory that human ancestors did it well. So we evolved from a knuckle-walking ancestor. There was even a cover story in Nature that the headline was almost that. Humans evolved from a knuckle-walking ancestor. So that was the theory. And then so here with Artie, we have a creature that's, it's not the last common ancestor with the African apes, but it's certainly getting closer. It's getting a big step closer. And the people, the anatomists who specialize in these things say that there's like no hint of knuckle walking. Not only was it not knuckle walking to get around, but also it has no vestige of a knuckle walking ancestry. So in other words, there's no like residual anatomy that would suggest that
it ever walked.
Knuckle walk. Yeah.
It was bipedal from the very early days?
Very, very early days of the species.
The species evolution.
Well, it's bipedal. It's what you find, at that 4.4 million year old window.
Right.
And then, what comes before that is
speculation.
It's the people that do this. It's intelligent speculation, obviously, but you don't know what you haven't found. And so, now there's a debate about just how long ago the last common ancestor of humans and chimps lived. It's probably at least, anywhere from 1.5 million years before Artie to, some estimates put it even further back than that. So, there's another school of thought that's kind of emerged that says, well, it still could be a knuckle-walking ancestor, that gave rise to humans and Artie, but it just, all the stuff had disappeared by the time you got to Artie. Anyway, that's kind of a counter argument that we can get more into that later. I don't want to get too esoteric on you, but
it's so fascinating that it has these really long arms, but that there's no evidence whatsoever of not only knuckle walking in that species, but knuckle walking as an ancestry.